Good evening. This day's theme. Which stories do we pass on to our children? Which words do we pass on to our children? Which actions do we pass on to our children? I bet maybe in Nigeria the parents have felt that all the white people were richer and more happy than them, and all the white people were against them. That feeling they have passed on to their children. I bet maybe many adult people in Israel have been taught that they were victims. They have heard their grandparents have been victims. So they have a long feeling, a long story of feelings as victims. I bet maybe Palestine people, for a very good reason, have heard their parents, have seen their parents living in refugee camps. So they have felt and seen as being victims. Nobody wants to be feel or seen as victims. After the Second World War, NATO promised Russia not to squeeze in around Russia. But NATO and Europe, EU, got more and more country with them. So I bet maybe Putin have felt pressed. He could see NATO was eating more and more countries close to his borders, so he do not have a buffer zone anymore. So I bet maybe Putin and Russia feel it was the whole Europe around Russia, or the whole Europe coming closer and closer to Russia, or the whole Europe was united, but he was alone, yeah? What do you do when you feel alone? You hit, you scream, you run, yeah? Depend of what, yeah? So, what's caused the war in Ukraine was maybe not a few Russian people felt pressed or squeezed in Ukraine. It was just a symbol of being squeezed and pressed from Europe. So Putin missed a need to have a way out to the sea. So if we do not understand and see and hear those hurted feelings, or help people that have been victims to get out, to help them with their traumatic events and traumatic feelings, we will get war and war and war and war. War upon war, revenge upon revenge. So we have to go back and find the root to the wars, so we can talk about what to do so Russia do not feel squeezed. How can we help the Israeli people